Each year, we have done a script reading at InvaderCON, and we've done various scripts. Now, this year, we were hit with the conundrum of why keep doing the same thing over and over again. So we have two options on the table in front of all of our actors. And we're going to go based on audience applause or threats of lynching. One of two options. Option number one.
Where's it me? Where's Ricky? Oh, that's not.
And I'm interested to see how the parents react to this one. We can do one of two scripts. Script number one is an episode called, no, not that one. We're going to do the other one first, because the other one makes sense. The other one doesn't. What do I, every single time we've done this, what do I equate InvaderCon is just like what other kind of convention?
A furry convention!
Yeah, I'd say a furry convention. So we have dug up the 1960s Star Trek episode of Star Trek called Mock Time, which is where Spock is in heat and needs to find a girlfriend.
Spock will be played by Ricky Simons. Kirk will be played by Richard Harvitz.
As them or as our characters?
As
That was mine.
Zim and Gur, of course.
Go! And it is! And it's me! That's illogical!
Dr. McCoy will be Mr. Roger Bumpus.
Oh!
Right, Dr.
I'd rather
McCoy
be doing show.
and Scott.
And Scotty.
He would do Dr. McCoy and Scotty.
Oh.
Probably both as Professor Membrane.
Okay.
As membrane.
Right.
And Melissa Fon would be all the female characters. Because she's the only girl here.
Yes.
And it's a stretch.
Uhura and the Vulcan girl.
T'Pau.
And Nurse Chuck.
And there's
And
Chuck.
there's Chuck.
And there's Ratchet. Nurse. All right. And Eric would pick up on the random voices that nobody else is reading.
Exactly.
Now we have the option to do that, or we do have 10 minutes to doom and so Star Trek it is. Good.
We have to actually vote.
All right, let's take a vote. And we'll do it on audience reaction. How many people want to hear Invader Zim as Captain Kirk in new Star Trek?
Don't tell us how to do it! We don't vote.
How many people want to hear 10 minutes to doom?
The thing is, 10 minutes to doom is only 10 minutes.
We also have Full House, and I will be playing Uncle Jesse.
Ladies and gentlemen, Richard is making things up again. He will be placed in the Olsen twins.
Pontiac, Michigan!
So here's what we're going to do. We will go ahead, because 10 minutes to doom really is only 10 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is
It'll
only
take
10
us 20 minutes to get through it, but sure.
So we will start that, and then we will wrap up the panel by reading the beginning of A Mock Time. So I'm going to let Eric take it from here, because he knows more about running this show than I do.
Yeah, and I do it badly. Exterior high school playground, afternoon, high drama, slow motion. The school bell rings, it's 3 o'clock, and all of the kids are heading home.
Yay! Come on, let's go home.
As credits roll, we see Zim walking happily. Dim and Torque Smacky stand nearby. Dim turns to Torque and says something. Who's gonna be Dim?
Ricky! Oh, I can do Dim.
No.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, yeah.
The This time, Zim!
That's terrible.
Why don't we have a guest person?
Because we don't have enough mics. Oh, but tell you what, you want to be Dib, Melissa? Roger, can you think you can do Dib?
No,
No.
I have nothing to
Can we
say.
get
Ooh.
can we have someone to come up and eat them?
I've got a perfect thing.
Yeah.
We're playing with
This
fire
time.
if we do this.
Yeah,
You know
okay,
that.
playing with
I'll be Dib and I'll be terrible.
I think it's going rather well, don't you?
All right.
You'll be awesome.
I kind of want either Roger or Melissa to be Dib, but
I want someone to audition.
okay,
Come on,
okay.
it'll be so
Let's. Do we have an extra mic that we can have somebody audition for Dib?
Richard. Get
Tabitha should be Dib.
it. Tabitha.
Yeah.
Here's what we will do.
Okay.
We will have 3 people audition for Dib. If none of you cut the mustard,
As a green
Or the cheese.
we'll just gonna plow
Okay.
forward. As Dib, don't screw it up.
Pressure. That's screaming.
Exterior school prep one afternoon, high drama, slow motion, the school bell rings, blah, 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 blah. It's 3 o'clock and all the kids are heading home. As the credits roll, we see Zim walking happily. All right, Dib and Torque smack. He stand nearby. Dib turns to Torque and says something. Torque chuckles menacingly and throws a ball at Zim. Hey, Roger, give us your best menacing chuckle. You'll be Torque. Zim falls to the ground, boom, dislodging his backpack. Everyone laughs at Zim. Slow motion laughter is creepy. Torque sees Dib laughing and then gets disgusted at the unpopular kid's enjoyment. Zim hits the floor and everything goes back to real time. As Zim's pad pops off his back. Dib's eyes light up in shock at the sight as he quickly takes action. He holds it for a beat, awed, then runs off with it. We push in on Zim's dazed face into black as he passes out. Over black, we hear a strange alien heartbeat. A clock appears on the screen, counting down from 10 minutes, like the show 24 that was popular back then.
My life clock? Why, life clocks don't come on in this.
Exterior playground. Zim snaps awake, frantic. He reaches around to feel his back.
My back! It's gone!
The clock moves to the corner of the screen where it will remain for the rest of the episode. The first thing Zim sees are the faces of his schoolmates circled above him. All the kids point in one direction down the hall. Zim follows at the pointed fingers with his eyes and sees Dib. Standing at the end of the hall, clutching Zim's pack to his chest. Dib looks guilty as hell. We said hell in the script. And realizes he has been caught. He bolts around the corner. Zim chases him around for a few turns until he loses him in an open area with a huge crowd of kids, but no Dib! Zim loses it, whirling about in the middle of the crowd, searching with his eyes.
Give me my pack, Dib! I need it to live! Great acting! Just go to the credits!
He is clearly going ugly on screen.
The stage just came apart. The stage is falling apart. Oh, Ricky's falling! Hey, he's falling and he can't get up! My chair's gonna fall too.
Are we done?
Gravity never sleeps.
You mean that wasn't intentional?
He fell through that twice. I saw him do it. He's an Avery. You think he doesn't know how to sit?
Wow.
Cheap ass stage.
Come on. Jump up and down on it to see if it'll hold.
My God.
Of all the things to happen, the greatest day of my life.
We're back.
All right, you're back.
Fly by exterior space, USS Enterprise.
There we go. We're back.
No, okay.
Here we go.
Top of page 2.
Top of page 2.
Yes, all right, so I said,
Yeah.
without it, I can only survive for 10 minutes! And the countdown has already started! I am not going to expire on this filthy planet because of you!
Zim notices that the crowd is staring at him.
Yes, forget all that. Need my backpack stuff. Yeah, it's just that it was full of sandwiches, and I love sandwiches!
Behind a nearby pillar on a raised part of a nearby building, Dib has overheard the whole thing. He cradles Zim's pack like it's taken on a whole new meaning. Zim can be seen below.
This is more important than I thought.
Into the mic, please. Say it again, say it again.
Oh, hi, Screamy. Oh, this thing's even more important than I thought. Oh, hi, Screamy.
Screamy, a happy-looking kid, walks by and stops in front of Dib. Immediately after speaking, Dib covers his mouth in horror at what he has just invited.
Hi, Deb! How you
The whole crowd, including Zim, looks up at the sound.
doing? No, Screamy! Shh! Don't say anything. How come you whispering, Deb? Ah! Deb! Ah! I like your name, Deb!
Dib screams, terrified. He claps his hand over Screamy's mouth and then runs screaming at the sight of Zim pushing his way through the crowd towards him. Once again, Zim arrives too late and Dib is gone. He grabs Screamy by the shirt.
Screamy! Where did he go? Where did the little thief run to? I don't know, but he sure can run! You just steal him! Look at yourself! No, just now I say! No! I sure we got! Come on, Screamy, think! Think like never before! Which way did he go? Let me think!
Screamy thinks real hard. Zim is insane with the waiting for Screamy. The strain of thinking is too much and the top of Screamy's head explodes. Black smoke pours out. Zim drops a moaning and twitching Screamy to the ground.
No! Feeble humans!
Zim's eye catches a security camera, then another. He looks around and thinks the school is monitored by hundreds of security cameras. Zim looks like he's just thought of something. And he runs off. Interior security office. Zim bursts into the security room, waking the security officer who sits in front of a huge bank of monitors.
Quickly! My backpack's been stolen. Everything that I am is in that pack. My memory drive, my charging cell, my atmospheric processor, my Zimness!
The officer just stares at him. Zim rethinks his approach.
He also got my baby brother inside.
Sweet donkey. My baby brother was taken away in the backpack once too. Can I do help?
I need to find the thief.
The officer turns to a keyboard and starts typing.
I'm not really supposed to tell you this, but you kids are implanted with a homing chip, so we can find you at all times.
Zim looks a little uneasy at this for information, but he's got more important things in mind right now. Sorry. A monitor shows Dib on the phone.
I need to speak to Professor Memory. This is his son. What do you mean he's busy? This is important. Well, tell him that I'm coming in the lab. I have something he'll want to see.
These swing nearly exit.
The officer turns at the sound of the doors behind him. They swing in Zim's speedy wake. Interior hallway, just as Dib hangs up the phone, Zim rounds the corner. Dib sees Torque just outside the school and runs to him.
Torque! Zim calls you a dookie weenie, and now he says he's gonna beat you up. Look, here it comes now!
You know, let's have Melissa find a Torque just to mix it up. Do it, Melissa.
Look at me. That hurts my feelings.
Torque charges at Zim. Zim just keeps running towards Dib, not noticing Torque until he gets tackled by him. The confused Zim finds himself in the target of an insanely angry Torque who rolls Zim like an attacking crocodile. That's gonna be animated for fan fiction. Tim slinks away, cradling the backpack close to him.
There. I just don't.
The pack beeps.
What?
The backpack sprouts robotic spider legs and scrambles like a beast in a trap. Dim is shocked and then thrown off his feet as the backpack drags him through the exit doors. Exterior school. Dim is dragged off into the streets. Shortly after, Zim explodes from the school, having escaped the beating, with Torque not far behind.
Oh, it's you. It's me.
Take it back! Take back the donkey weenie!
Zim runs into a crowd of pedestrians, ditching Torque for the moment. Zim stops to catch his breath against the leg of a standing pedestrian.
So weak! No, my body shell is already starting to deteriorate. My amazing intelligence training must reconnect with my brain.
Zim!
Zim has been spotted, and now he runs again, desperately looking for a way out. Zim spots something that gives him hope. He sprints madly and leaps directly into the fattest sumo wrestler we have ever seen. He sinks into his girth. Torque walks by, confused. Then he looks for Zim, but can't find him anywhere. He runs off. Beat. Another beat. Finally, Zim's fist shoots out from between the folds of the flesh of the sumo wrestler. Triumphant music plays. His face pops out, gasping for air. He flops to the ground. He looks up to see Torque a block away. Torque doesn't see him. Zim looks around. He's running out of time. He spots Gaz playing a ninja fighting game in the video arcade.
The sibling. Maybe she could. No! An invader needs help from no helper!
He coughs sickly and wobbles easily. Then steadies himself on a nearby dog. He looks desperate. Interior city bus continuous. Dim, sitting on the bus, getting many stares, has finally contained the wild pack, holding it tight against his chest. The pack suddenly stops struggling. Dim looks alarmed, then relaxes, glad the resistance is over for him.
I guess this wore this thing out.
He tugs at the pack and finds that it's stuck to his chest, attached by two strong cables that seem to actually go into him. He rolls around on the floor, pulling at the thing. He eventually calms down.
Okay, so don't panic. Now I know how to get this off. I just have to get it out and take off the filthy earth.
Dim slaps his hand over his mouth, shocked to have just spoken these words. Interior video game arcade. The arcade has no front wall, and Gaz plays a game nearest the sidewalk. These are notes to the board artists. A half-dead Zim wobbles dangerously, riding the doggy like a horse. The dog stops. What? There's nothing weird about that. The dog stops, and Zim flops onto the sidewalk, face up. Gaz stares at him, then gives him a lazy kick to the side. He quickly shoots upright, then immediately goes more slack. His eyes look off in two different directions. His speech is slurred and almost incoherent. Richard, you should have no trouble with that.
Dim stole my backpack and he takes it to your father's lab for experimenting on it, and you have to get it back soon. I won't live for more filthy earth human.
You're not making any sense.
Backpack. That brain thing makes him act like Zim. Need pack for think stuff.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Zim beats his head against the wall, knocking his eyes back into alignment. Gaz turns her head at the sound of her game that she's been ignoring since Zim arrived. And then she sees a game... Zim. I don't know what she sees. Zim sees the game slave too, poking out of Gaz's pocket, and snatches it while she's distracted. He stuffs it into his pocket.
He also stole your game device and wants to experiment on it too.
Gaz searches in her pocket. She looks furious.
Where did you say he was going?
Zim is starting to go wall-eyed again.
I can't tell you. Have to show you. Zim weak, need Dim's sister to carry.
Gaz is angry and she finally grabs Zim by the ankle and drags him like a doll down the street. Interior Membrane's lab, continuous. Membrane and another scientist stand next to each other. They have identical workstations, each with a brain and a tray. Next to each of them stands inactive robots with empty heads. A tense crowd of lab technicians watches. One of them holds a stopwatch. Membrane completes whatever he is doing to his brain before the other scientist and stuffs the brain into the robot on his side. The robot springs to life.
I am Foodio, the robot that will end world hunger. Off I go.
Foodio runs off. The stopwatch holder clicks to a stop and the timer holds Membrane's arm up victoriously. The crowd cheers Membrane. While the other scientist grudgingly hands Membrane a wad of cash. The crowd leaves the room. Membrane poses heroically as the camera zooms in from seemingly nowhere to snap his picture. Deep runs in, scaring the cameras away.
Dad!
How did you get in here, little boy?
Dad, it's me! Zim? Dad, I want you to have a look at this. Now, look, nothing human! Dad?
He gestures towards the pack on his chest.
Son, I don't like to get involved in your fashion matters, but that big metal shirt of yours is...
It's not a shirt! It's taking over my inferior human mind! You have to analyze it. I'm sure you'll be amazed.
Dim activates the spider legs to show off the technology.
fascinating. Perhaps just a quick look.
I just realized I don't think Gur's in this one, Ricky.
Yeah, we did too. So he's going to do the last Zim lines.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you have to do the robot too.
You
Who
know,
wants
Ricky,
Gur to do the last Zim lines?
yes. Zim has gotten so woozy he is starting to talk like Gur. On the streets leading to Membrane's lab, Gads rides a motorcycle with a feeble Zim who talks like Gur, hanging on behind her, an exceptionally safe-looking helmet on his head. Thank you, standards and practices. The sound is deafening. Page 8. Oh, you don't talk in this one. Page 8, Ricky.
Time left. Do it as animal. Do it as animal from the
Up, looking angry and determined. Meanwhile, at Membrane's lab, Membrane uses some scanning tools as he probes the pack.
It's some kind of parasite. Get off before... I am Zim! Hurry, Dad, it's doing something to my brains!
I've almost got it off of you here.
Outside the lab, Gaz zooms through the guards, riding Zim like a horse. One leg protruding from his belly scuttles away towards the remaining robot from earlier. But then Gaz bursts into the lab.
Guys, your brother wants to rule us all. We have to stop him.
Yeah, he stole my game slave and now he's gonna pay.
Zim flops to the door looking barely alive. He drools sick goo. Like you do. The counter is down to about 30 seconds.
No.
The,
You want to hear this animal
you're
again?
good? Yeah.
See the robot, number 2.
Just what? Gur, read it as Gur.
No, you're not bothered.
It is
Team Gur has spoken.
it is very popular.
You're looking angry.
I'm sorry.
Dim does some quick work on the robot brain, laughing evilly all the while. He pops the brain into the robot, and the robot comes to life, looking insane and spooky. The voice of robot number 2 will be brought by Mr. Ricky Simons.
I am Destructio, the robot that will end all life on Earth. Off I go!
Destructio smashes through a wall and runs into the city. Dib rubs his hands evilly, enjoying his work.
No!
some strength.
It's a short line, just do it.
Give me my game slave back now, and I'll let you keep one of your limbs, Tim.
Just do it.
Yeah, do it.
Vicky, just do it.
Do it.
Lodi,
Do it,
Lodi,
Vicky.
Lodi the pizza.
Bloody, bloody, bloody.
Okay. Pim is too busy laughing hysterically to answer her sister's threats. When her rage reaches its peak, she leaps up, executes a series of ninja moves, and knocks the backpack off Dim. It falls to the ground right next to Zim. Stupid Zim looks at it for a moment as though trying to remember what it is. He stumbles over it and picks it up. He tries to put it on his head like a hat. The clock is counting down. 5 seconds. 4. He tries to stand on it. Finally, he puts it on his back. The clock stops with 1 second left. Zim's body rejuvenates, looking full and healthy and green again. His eyes flash as the data floods back into him. He levitates for a second, full of power.
What you were toying with did. Your filthy human body chemistry is incompatible with the pack. If it would have destroyed you. You're lucky I defeated you. Ha!
He raises his arms in victory.
Victory for Zim!
But as he raises his arms, the game slave falls out of his pocket. Gaz, standing over her dazed brother and preparing to make good on her threat of limb removal, sees this. Her eyes go wide with anger. Come on, you can go right. You can go right. All right. One more. Zim sees the advancing wave. That was so threatening. Zim sees the advancing wave of evil. That is Gaz. Shrieks and runs away. That's you, Zim. You shriek and run away. Gaz chases him through a hole in the wall left by Destructio. Dim watches them go, then remembers something very important.
Oh no! I must stop Destructio!
Dim runs out to stop the monster. Membrane is alone in his ruined laboratory. He shakes his head sadly.
Ah, that boy and his friends.
Another wall comes down, revealing a furious Torch Smacky still running after Zim. He runs through the hole that Zim and Gaz just left for him. Membrane. Membrane. We good? Membrane turns the lights off and leaves the room. Disgusted.
Well, at least I'm saving money.
The end. All right, we're going to start on page 4.
Yeah, we can get through this. But we're just start. We got time to get through this. It's super quick.
Okay.
Let's just do it. All right.
Starting on page 4.
Yep. No, page. Start at the beginning.
At the beginning.
At the very beginning? All right, we're going to blow through this. This is Star Trek Amok Time by Gene Roddenberry or somebody. No, written by Theodore Sturgeon, the famous science fiction author. Interior Enterprise corridor long shot. Crew members move both ways through the corridor. Purposely businesslike. Captain Kirk strides briskly almost up the camera. A medium close-up as he responds to McCoy's voice. Captain. Kirk stopping, turning, moving aside sufficiently to reveal the swift approach of ship's Dr. McCoy.
Got a minute?
Go ahead!
Spock. Notice anything strange about him?
It looks all right to me. What's wrong with him?
Something I can pinpoint without an examination, but he's becoming increasingly restive. I lured a Vulcan, I almost say nervous. I did just say nervous. For another thing, he's avoiding food. I've checked. He hasn't eaten at all in 3 days now.
Oh, that just sounds like Mr. Spock is in one of his contemplating things.
All right, I'm going to cut you all off before everyone starts doing Shatner.
I am Shatner. I'm Kirk.
You're not. You're doing a Zim, dude.
You've already done Zim.
Yes.
Just doing
Kirk is Zim. And
that sounds like
do
Mr.
it as
Spock.
Professor. Okay. And Dr. Christy Chapel will be Red as Gas. Okay. Okay, another angle past the McCoy lights up, seeing Nurse Christy Chapel.
Don't tell me how to do it. It sickens me.
It's interesting.
Yes.
Everyone who shot about that.
Yes.
everyone just do that.
Everyone just do Shatter, it doesn't matter. Nurse Chapel walks up. Top of page 2, scene 3.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I will. I was waiting for the rest of the question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Miss Chapel sees them, then she stops and backs clearly away.
Miss Chapel?
Christine comes reluctantly around the corner to view again. She carries with him a small tray in her hand, nods as she approaches the two men.
Captain, Doctor, McCoy.
McCoy zeroes into the tray, which is covered in the bowl.
What's this, nurse? Vulcan pudding soup? I'll bet you're into. Hot. You never give up hoping, do you?
She flushes a little embarrassed.
Mr. Spock hasn't been eating, Doctor.
Eating doctor.
Hey, doctor, come on.
Yes.
Spock eating, Doctor. I just happened to notice it and...
Yes, well, carry on, Miss Captain.
Kirk eyes McCoy as the doctor's retreat. Christine goes on to a closed door further down the hall, and she stops there. There's none.
You were saying that an examination would pinpoint any problem.
And when I suggested to him it was time for his routine checkup, your logical, unemotional prison officer turned to me and said, "You will cease to pry into my personal matters, or I will certainly break your neck."
Kirk's eyes, they what? Consider. Stop.
Spock! Said that.
On this cue, in a very rapid succession, there's the crockery sound. OS. That's off screen. Spock's voice, a horse shout.
What? This?
A short, sharp scream from Christine Chapel as Kirk and McCoy whirl in that direction. Ah! Spock's doorway, where Nurse Christine is hurriedly backing out of the doorway. A bowl is thrown, hitting the door. Oh, framed behind her, the thick orange soup splattering, running down the wall as she retreats. Mr. Spock appears at the doorway, his Vulcan features contort with rage.
Okay, right. If you want anything, I'll ask you for it.
Christine hurries to the safety of Kirk and Spock. McCoy, Spock, watching them retreat, suddenly sees them. He straightens to the contempt left and composes his speech. You heard me.
Captain, I should like to request give a...
That's good. There's something going on. It's got good.
And
It's wonderful.
quite abruptly, there was a warp core breach, and they all died.